Using a cost driver in manufacturing means that we should allocate one-time resources used in production to different products in a certain proportion according to the predetermined coefficients. In order to look at how you can use the cost driver, I've already prepared design. We have two products here, hachapuri in 4 slices and hachapuri in 8 slices. And here in the table below, we have resources used in manufacturing execution for each of these products. As you can see, there are some resources, cheese, eggs, and electricity with the corresponding quantities. So we know in advance amount of these resources which we're gonna use to make each product. But resources such as celery and dough, we should allocate to these products in a certain proportion. And the concept of cost driver helps us in this process. In order to enter the cost drivers in the system, we should access the menu Manufacturing and Cost Driver. There are two tables here. In the table at the top, we should put resources such as material, manufacturing overhead, or salary, which drives cost in this case. And in the table below, we should put the products that we're going to produce. Let's add record in the upper table. As you may remember, the salary spent on production of hachapuri was the cost driver in our case. So let's select it. And here in the description, system will indicate that this is the cost driver number 1. However, you can change it if you want. Now in the table below, let's add our products. Hachapuri in 4 slices and hachapuri in 8 slices. And cost will be allocated to these products based on this cost driver. We should specify the coefficients. Let's say 3.5 and 4.5. Now let's add another cost driver, the dough. Cost driver number was attached automatically. Let's add our product for this cost driver as well. And let's specify coefficients 6 and 4. You can use these cost drivers directly in manufacturing execution, but we recommend you to connect these cost drivers to the design, and system will automatically use them in manufacturing execution. In order to make this connection, select the first product and in the table below along the salary, click on the field cost driver, then press on down arrow key on the keyboard and select cost driver number 1, and then select cost driver number 2 for the dough. We can do the same for our second product as well. Now let's look at how you can execute manufacturing from this type of design. Move to the menu Execution. Let's produce dough at first. Add from the design. And make 20 kilogram dough. In order to use it in production of our final products, and execute manufacturing. And now let's move to the production of our final product. But first make sure that new execution order won't be created automatically. Let's add these two products and specify corresponding number of execution order. So let's add new order, choose. Let's specify number of items of these products. We're gonna make, let's say, 5 items of each. And as you can see from the design, along with resources have been moved cost drivers as well. As you may remember, the amount of these resources should be allocated to these products based on these cost drivers. So we can choose only one product and specify total amount of each of these resources that we're gonna use to make both of those products. For example, let's say on production, both of those products we've spent 50 lari on salary and use 11 kilogram dough. Let's execute manufacturing. And now look at the entries. We have direct costs in both of those T count transactions. These are amount of money spent on cheese, eggs, and electricity. But amount of money spent on salary and dough is allocated to these products in a certain proportion and included in production of khachapuri in 4 slices and khachapuri in 8 slices. Now let's look at how the prime costs of these products have been calculated by the system. Let's close this screen. Let's press on execution button and check this box, show cost allocation auxiliary tables. Let's enlarge this form. In order to look at content of these tables, execute manufacturing again for all records, number 10 execution order, and the system will fill out these tables used for pricing. The first table is cost drivers. Let's sort it by cost drivers. You can see the first cost driver is the salary and the second cost driver is dough. There are corresponding amounts as well. You can see coefficients and amount of money based on each of these cost drivers. For example, for the first cost driver, which is salary in our case, the total amount of money is 50 lari and it's allocated to these products. For the first product, it's 21.87 and 28.12 for the second product. We can see the same in case of the second cost driver, dough. The total prime cost is 33 lari 5 tetri. This amount of money is allocated to our final products in proportion to these coefficients. So for the first product is 1983 and 1322 for the second product. And in the table below, you can see the values based on the cost drivers. As you can see, total prime cost based on our first cost driver, salary, is 50 lari, as it was in the first table, and total prime cost based on the second cost driver is 33 lari 5 as it was here as well. Now let's sort this first table by products. Now you can see the total amount of money spent on production of the first product, hajapuri, in 4 slices is 41 lari 70 and this amount is allocated to the salary and dough in proportion to this coefficient. And in the third table below, you can see that for the first product, direct prime cost is 612. The prime cost based on the cost driver 4170 and their sum 47 lari 83 is the total prime cost. Here you can see the prime cost per unit as well. The same method is used in case of the second product, hajapuri, in 8 slices. The prime cost based on cost driver is 41 lari 34 added to the direct prime cost, and it gives you the total prime cost of this second product. We can compare total prime costs here in this table with the corresponding values in entries. As you can see, both of these cases, it's 47 lari 84 for the first product, hajapuri, in 4 slices, and 49.43 for the second product, hajapuri, in 8 slices. And one more detail about cost drivers is that the same cost driver can be used in cost allocation to different products. For example, a dough can be used in production of another product as well. Let's add one more cost driver, dough. As you can see, it was given another cost driver number, and let's use it to produce large and small hajapuri with coefficients, let's say 6 and 2, and look at execution. Let's add new execution. Select from the design hajapuri in 4 and 8 slices. Let's add new number of execution order. You can see corresponding cost drivers here, but for the dough, let's take the cost driver number 4 instead of number 2. Let's change cost driver for another product as well. So we made the same mistake in case both of those products we selected cost driver that was assigned to other products. Now let's produce 2 items of the first and 3 items of the second product. Salary spent on this production, let's be 30 lari, and let's use 4 kilogram dough. Now let's try to execute manufacturing. Check this box. But system will give us a warning message that cost of material can't be allocated based on the cost driver, and the system also detected that this material is dough. And if we look at these tables, we will see that some fields are empty because, as you may remember, we indicated wrong number of cost driver during this execution. The system tried to allocate the dough to large and small khachapuri based on this cost driver, but we tried to execute production of other products, khachapuri in 4 and 8 slices. So we should pay attention to indicate cost driver correctly during this process.